Let me play what Harden had to say after the game. He had 4 charging fouls. This is what he had to say about Scott Foster.
I never really talk about officiating or anything like that, but just rude and arrogant. I mean, you aren't able to talk to him throughout the course of a game, and it's like, how do you build that relationship with officials? So, and it's not even that call. Like, it's just, who he is on that floor. It's pretty frustrating. And I mean, and I'm probably gonna get hit, but honestly, I don't really say anything. I'm probably a pretty quiet guy to myself, but it's one of those things where you can't voice your opinion. You can't have a conversation with someone that's officiating the game, and then you're getting attacked. It's pretty sad.
You feel like it's a personal issue?
Yeah, for sure. For sure, it's personal. For sure. Like, I don't think you should be able to even officiate our games anymore. Honestly.
Do you think this is a perceived slight by Harden, or it's real?
Well, Scott Foster, if I'm not mistaken, had an issue with Chris Paul last year.
Yeah.
When I think Chris Paul said something like, people are paying to see Scott Foster play or officiate. So there's some beef there. No, I mean, come on. I know Scott Foster is one of those guys that is not embracing a lot of conversation with players, and that's just kind of the way it is. I mean, we've had officials throughout the years that have been like that. There were nights when Joe Crawford, who's one of the great officials we've ever had, that you just simply don't talk to him. So if you know that on that given night, you just don't do it. And that's up to the players. They should know that. And whatever. I sat there, I watched. There were 4, charging calls against Harden that I thought 3 of them were poor calls. But that's the way it goes. And to see 2 guys foul out of the best players, though, I was wondering, when's the last time you've seen that in the NBA?
But I'm also wondering, is Scott Foster, is he old school calling what should be called, whereas it feels like there's a little more latitude when it comes to James Harden? He initiates contact, the step back or step to the side that's not traveling. It feels like Harden benefits a little bit more from the officiating then he is penalized by it.
Yeah, I mean, he goes to the line more than any player in the NBA. So, to come out and really say this, I think it's surprising. I think it's a very good move by James. He gets the benefit of the doubt. He is the one that creates all the contact. He's very difficult to officiate. He's so crafty when he dribbles into the lane and he throws his arms into people and he shoots 3-point, shots that he gets fouled more than anybody in the league. So, I don't know, not a great move really to talk about it. It was, he had some tough calls last night. I totally agree, but at the same time, over the totality of the season, I think he's on the upper end.
What's the league office do?
Figure out what kind of money they're going to make from James and get ready for a check.
Do you give him an audience? If you're the commissioner, do you call James Harden? Now, I said I would because I just want to know, how he came up, with this opinion here. And I also want to talk to Scott Foster and just say, look, we can't have this. There is this perception there. But I can't have my star player calling out the officials. And I want to know if Scott Foster does have a problem with James Harden.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you investigate that. I mean, talk to James about it. You tell me, you show me the evidence that this is something personal.
But aren't they graded after every game?
Yeah, well, it'll fall on deaf ears. Look, they're missing calls on a nightly basis. I don't think Scott Foster was out to go get James Harden last night in any stretch.
Okay.
There were a couple calls that were tough calls on him, and that's going to happen, especially when a guy has the ball the whole game and makes all the plays that James Harden does.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.